Hello, my name is Chelsea too, and I have a question for everyone. What do you know about dissociative identity disorder?
Not much, but please tell us about it.
Well, in media, dissociative identity disorder is where a person has multiple identities in response to trauma. But that's just a surface level. DID as a whole is a mental condition with a system of alters, stemming from trauma and the many treatments used to heal. Today, I'm here to inform you on the basic medical information on DID and despite how media depicts it. How does it work? DID is a system of alters, each are responding to a trigger. Triggers themselves are simply just encounters that a patient has causing the identities to switch. According to Aubrey Bailey, this triggers themselves aren't really intentional, but rather a patient responds to certain things. Though certain things varies, most of the common ones are strong memories, unprocessed emotions, stress, or very strong senses, specifically the 5 base senses. In fact, the system of alters is actually responsible for the current symptoms of DID. Common symptoms such as memory loss, hallucinations, and changes in behavior are usually the separate identities influencing the patients. It can also lead to other mental issues such as depression and anxiety due to the uncontrollable nature of the system. And despite how complicated all of this is, it ultimately was created by a child. During early childhood, when the person is experiencing prolonged trauma, either by sexual or physical abuse, the child would try to suppress the emotions in order to cope. Constant suppression can lead to the creation of alter. Each alter bearing suppressed experiences in order to cope. Despite how each alter may differ for each person, it ultimately follows the same order. Each alter protects the child from unwanted experiences. With all that being said, it should be advised for the patient to see actual treatment. This condition is a coping mechanism. It's not a healing treatment. According to Paroma Milta, psychotherapy, known as talk therapy, is the best form of therapy towards DID. Not only can help to reduce the symptoms, but it can also help the patient to process the emotion trauma from childhood. Not only that, but identify the alters and help find agreement in the systems. Basically, managing it all. Although medication is not required, it is necessary to treat certain symptoms such as depression or anxiety if the patient has some of them. The best form of support or in treatment is support of loved ones. With surrounding people aware of the conditions and how DID works, it not only can help the patient recover faster, but helps identify the alters and gives the patient the needs to manage their lives daily. In conclusion, dissociative identity disorder is a mental condition housing multiple identities based on triggers. Each alter is essentially a response to childhood trauma, and with the right treatment and support needed, the patient can live a happy life with the condition, living alongside the alters as if normally. Now that we reached the end, does anyone have any questions?
Yes, I do.
Yes?
What percentage of the general population is affected by DID?
Around 1%, despite how media portrays and how it essentially responds to trauma, it ultimately is a rare condition. A child mind is a complicated one. Any other questions?
Yes, with dissociative identity disorder, can the different alternate personalities get to know one another?
Yes, during treatment, it's actually necessary to achieve a certain to achieve a certain communication or a control of the system, communication with the alter is the best way of healing and reducing symptoms. It essentially heals the patient faster.
Okay, well, thank you.
Yes, any questions?
How many alters are there?
As I said, alters varies for each person. Each person can create alters based on certain responses to trauma. It can range from at least 2 separate identities to 10 to 100. It often depends. Yes.
Thank you for the information.
Thank you for listening, everyone, and have a great day.